that in the book of Enoch, there is an eschatological prophecy called the Apocalypse of Weeks. And just for knowledge's sake, is that here are the current scrolls found in Qumran for the book of Enoch. 4Q212 contains the Apocalypse of Weeks, prophecy that is found in the last section of the book in chapters 93 and 91. Yes, I intentionally listed that backwards, as weeks 1 through 7 are in chapter 93, and weeks 8 through 10 are after in chapter 91. Altogether, the author describes events from creation to eternity in 10 symbolic weeks. Why this prophecy likely is alluding to, or at minimum playing off of the 70 weeks prophecy, is that in Enoch 91:15, it describes events taking place in the 7th part of the 10th week. So, it's likely that the writer envisioned 70 parts to his 10 weeks to make the reader kind of think of, oh yeah, Daniel's 70 weeks. We'll quickly go through Enoch's Apocalypse of Weeks, just so you know what it's all about, starting in 93:1. And after that, Enoch both gave and began to recount from the books. And Enoch said, concerning the children of righteousness, and concerning the elect of the world, and concerning the plant of unrighteousness, I will speak these things. Yes, I, Enoch, will declare them unto you, my sons. According to that which appeared to me in the heavenly vision, and which I have known through the word of the holy angels, and have learnt from the heavenly tablets. And Enoch began to recount from the books, and said, I was born the 7th in the 1st week, while judgment and righteousness still endured. So, week 1 covers from creation to Enoch. And after me there shall arise in the 2nd week great wickedness, and deceit shall have sprung up, and in it there shall be the first end. And in it a man shall be saved, and after it is ended, unrighteousness shall grow up, and a law shall be made for the sinners. So, week 2 covers from Enoch to the flood. And after that, in the 3rd week, at its close, a man shall be elected as the plant of righteous judgment, and his posterity shall become the plant of righteousness forevermore. So you can hear week 3 describing Abraham and Israel being created. And after that, in the 4th week, at its close, visions of the holy and the righteous shall be seen, and a law for all generations, and an enclosure shall be made for them. Here you should be thinking Mount Sinai and the giving of the law to Moses. And after that, in the 5th week, at its close, the house of glory and dominion shall be built forever. Here it describes the Davidic dynasty and the first temple being constructed. And after that, in the 6th week, all who live in it shall be blinded, and the hearts of all of them shall godlessness forsake wisdom. And in it a man shall ascend, and at its close the house of dominion shall be burnt with fire, and the whole race of the chosen root shall be dispersed. This should be an easy one to recognize, as it's describing Nebuchadnezzar's destruction of Jerusalem and the first temple and his deportation of Israelites back to Babylon. And after that, in the 7th week, shall an apostate generation arise, and many shall be its deeds, and all its deeds shall be apostate. And at its close shall be elected the elect righteous of the eternal plant of righteousness, to receive sevenfold instruction concerning all his creation. Now, since this week would represent the post-exilic period, is that the apostate generation is likely talking about the Jewish leadership that led many into idolatry at the time of Antiochus Epiphanes IV. Now, chapter 91, going back 2 chapters, continues from the 7th week into the 8th week for us. And it says, "And after that the roots of unrighteousness shall be cut off, and the sinners shall be destroyed by the sword, shall be cut off from the blasphemers in every place, and those who plan violence and those who commit blasphemy shall perish by the sword. And after that there shall be another, the 8th week, that of righteousness, and a sword shall be given to it, that a righteous judgment may be executed on the oppressors, and the sinners shall be delivered into the hands of the righteous. And at its close they shall acquire houses through their righteousness, and a house shall be built for the great King in glory forevermore." So, we are starting to hear about a future period of righteousness with a new temple being built, likely for the Messiah, from the term that was used here, for the great King. And after that, in the 9th week, the righteous judgment shall be revealed to the whole world, and all the works of the godless shall vanish from all the earth, and the world shall be written down for destruction. And all mankind shall look to the path of uprightness. Here, week 9 described a period of judgment for the godless. And after this, in the 10th week, in the 7th part, there shall be the great eternal judgment, in which he will execute vengeance amongst the angels. Here, week 10 describes the judgment that will come upon the fallen angels who rebelled and procreated with women in the pre-flood world as described in Genesis 6, 1-4. But if you just kind of saw there about the 7th part in the 10th week, well, if it's 7 sevens make a jubilee, then the last 7 would be a what? A 7-year period. So it would be the last week, if you will, in that. So you kind of get Daniel 9:27 in that 7th part of the 10th week. It's illusion, but you can kind of see how they're doing with it. "And the first heaven shall depart and pass away, and a new heaven shall appear, and all the powers of heavens shall give 7-fold light." Here, the writer is pulling from the very end of the book of Isaiah that describes the new heaven and new earth ushered in by the Lord. And then after this, the Enochian writer says, "And after that, there will be many weeks without number forever, and all shall be in the goodness and righteousness, and sin shall no more be mentioned forever." The many weeks here is clearly representing eternity in the new heavens and earth. So, altogether, we have the 10 Enochian weeks described here. Again, I think the fact that the writer envisioned 70 parts shows that he had Daniel's 70 weeks in mind, and that he repurposed it in a different way to fit the narrative of his book. Reminder, hit the subscribe button below, turn on the notification bell, hit the like button, and leave a comment. And don't forget to visit us at justscripture.org. And in the meantime, stay salty.